Lesnar, I remember the day he came. We were all like, what the f***?
Who the? Wait, he's
Yeah, we're all talking shit, under our breath, and start doing the rope running drills. He didn't hook the top rope. That motherfucker leapt out of the ring between the second and third rope and took out like 20 metal chairs, and then just popped up, dusted himself off, and was like,
Brock
Lesnar.
There are wrestlers who need music, lights, and long introductions to tell you who they are. And then there was Brock Lesnar.
How long was the match with Brock? Was it 86 seconds?
I think it was something like that. It wasn't my idea.
Whose idea was it?
Brock.
Wow.
Shows you how brilliant he is. I mean, truly. I mean, people thought he was just a muscle-headed, toll.
Yeah, I think they're starting to realize there's a lot more to him than just that.
There's a hell of a lot more to Brock than that. When you reach a certain part of your career, you have to reinvent yourself, and you have to pull things out that...
I think people need to understand that Brock Lesnar was only here for 2 years. Brock Lesnar started the day after WrestleMania 2002 and finished at WrestleMania 2004. Brock Lesnar was here for 24 months. That's it. His first run was that fast.
Standing over 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing close to 300 pounds, Brock moved with explosive speed that felt unnatural for a man of his size. His power was not exaggerated or stylized. It was dense, sudden, and unavoidable. Every suplex carried weight. Every impact looked final.
Lesnar, I remember the day he came. We were all like, what the f***?
Who the? Wait, he's
Yeah, we're all talking shit, under our breath, and start doing the rope running drills. He didn't hook the top rope. That motherfucker leapt out of the ring between the second and third rope and took out like 20 metal chairs, and then just popped up, dusted himself off, and was like, I bet y'all would like to see that again.
Dude's a freaky athlete, man. Don't give two shits either. Brock is not a people person whatsoever.
I used to worry about him because I love this and I just don't want nobody to shoot his ass. Listen, he got to be careful. He be f***ing people and shit. He kicked some guy's ass in the airplane.
Oh, yeah. No, I was on that flight.
Listen, right? They talk about me in the airplane. He took him in the bathroom.
Yeah, he played it.
WWE had seen giants. WWE had seen dominant champions. But very few men ever entered the ring with this level of physical authority.
I've seen videos of Brock wrestling and going really hard sometimes too hard. Is he hard to work with?
Yeah, he's Brock Lesnar, man. He picks you up and throws you on your head. There's nothing nice about that. Yeah, it's very tough to work with. A human being like that some call him like the alpha male of our species. It's true. He really is what he is.
I think he was a UFC champ at one point.
Yep.
I don't know if he defended his belt. Excuse me, Brock, I'd love to have you on the show one day. Has it ever been
man.
too rough and gotten too real?
No, because if it's gotten too real, then the performance gets screwed up. But at the same time, my main thing is if you mess my jaw up, I'm not eating good after. If you hit me, you hit me.
In an era built on larger-than-life personalities, Brock stood apart because he didn't try to be larger than life. He looked dangerous in a way that didn't need exaggeration, the kind of danger that doesn't announce itself, the kind that makes people instinctively step back. Fans didn't just watch Brock Lesnar, they measured him. They wondered, quietly, how this could possibly be contained by rules, by referees, by outcomes decided ahead of time. Every time he appeared, the same unspoken question hovered in the air. What if this isn't an act at all? And that question followed Brock Lesnar everywhere he went.
You have the belt, but this one's winner take all.
Yeah, this is a unification right here.
So you and Brock Lesnar, who's not a small dude.
No. Just be honest, he's a big boy.
He's a big
old country boy, yeah.
Yeah, he's giant and he scares me. Even just saying his name kind of scares me too.
I got your back, don't worry.
Brock is one of the most gifted, hardest working, persevering, stubborn sons of bitches I've ever met. But I honestly think
when Brock Lesnar arrived on the main roster, there was no period of adjustment, no slow introduction, no testing phase. WWE didn't treat him like a prospect. They treated him like a solution. Everything about his rise felt accelerated. Matches came fast. Opponents came bigger. Expectations climbed immediately. Brock wasn't protected by careful booking. He was exposed to the very top, almost daring the audience to decide whether this was too much, too soon. And somehow, it worked.
Brock Lesnar crossed the wrong familia. And for that, he needs to pay. I beat him once before.
in the UFC, and I'm ready to do it again.
Kane, this is my world. This is my house. This is my kingdom, and I am the conqueror. For 10 long years, I've been waiting for this moment, Kane. I get up every day, and I have to look at this scar that you put on my face. Inside that octagon, I can't wait to get my hands on you again.
Against seasoned veterans, Brock didn't look out of place. He looked inevitable. His offense wasn't flashy. It was blunt, heavy, and convincing. When he lifted men who were supposed to be immovable, the illusion of wrestling gave way to something closer to spectacle, mixed with disbelief. Then came the moments that defined the era. The ring collapsing beneath his weight. A visual so powerful, it became shorthand for Brock Lesnar himself. Not just strength, but excess. Too much force for the structure designed to hold him. With each passing month, Brock was no longer presented as a challenger. He was framed as a force moving through the company, reshaping it as he went. Championships followed quickly, almost incidentally. The message was clear without ever being stated out loud.
Brock Lesnar has done a lot of impressive things throughout his WWE career, but did you know that he F5'd a shark in the ocean for a SummerSlam 2003 commercial?
Brock Lesnar is known to be one of the best athletes in this world. In terms of bench press, it has been said Lesnar is incredibly strong, with his personal record being over 655 pounds. And Kurt Angle has claimed Brock has been seen squatting over 1,000 pounds, which is absolutely unreal. But that's why,
for fans who had grown up watching giants and icons, Brock felt different. He didn't inherit the spotlight, he bent it. And as quickly as he rose, another realization began to form. If Brock Lesnar could climb this fast, this hard, then the fall, whenever it came, wouldn't be gentle.
Man, God bless him. He almost broke his neck himself.
What is the vantage point that you had when that happened, the shooting star press happens? Are you watching him in the air and realize immediately, like, oh, no?
Yeah, I knew he was going to fall short. So I go to cover him. I'm like, Brock, please kick out, please kick out. He kicks out at the count of 2. And then I go to pick him up, and I said, Brock, are you okay? He didn't say anything. I'm like, Brock, tell me, are you okay? He goes, I think so. And I was like, all right, well, listen, can you give me your finish? He said, you mean now? I said, yeah, I'm picking you up. He goes, I think so. And he lifted me up, gave me the F5 and pinned me. So wow. I was like, thank you, Lord.
For a long time, Brock Lesnar existed in a space where nothing seemed to slow him down. Strength, momentum, confidence. Everything moved in one direction. But eventually, the line between performance and reality began to blur. Inside the ring, that same edge followed him. Matches stopped feeling rehearsed and started feeling negotiated in real time. Against opponents who prided themselves on realism, Brock didn't pull back. He leaned in. Contact was heavier, exchanges were stiffer. The audience could feel it, even if they couldn't always explain why. Then came the moment that changed the tone of his story.
Brock is not a people person whatsoever.
He kicked some guy's ass in the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Took him in the bathroom.
Oh.
I really don't like people. Don't like being around a bunch of
Brock Lesnar is known for being one of the WWE's top professional wrestlers and former mixed martial artist who's known for his intense physicality and tough persona.
At WrestleMania 19, Brock Lesnar reached for something spectacular, something unnecessary, a move that belonged to gravity more than control. When he came down wrong, time slowed. The sound left the building. For a split second, the unstoppable force looked fragile.
It's just getting so violent.
He says with a smile on his face. Let's go back to one other of your career choices, the summer of 2004.
Oh, there I am.
Here he is.
Don't touch me like that, okay? I'm just kidding.
Really?
Oh man, I don't know. Brock's a tough individual. It just depends on what style you're talking about. As far as strength-wise, I believe I'm a good bit stronger than him, but when it comes to technique and things like that, I know he's a lot more advanced than that. So it's a 50-50 thing. Brock's a tough individual, but I also like to think that I am as well.
Brock finished the match on instinct alone. No celebration, no awareness, just muscle memory carrying him through. Behind the curtain, confusion replaced adrenaline. Questions replaced certainty. For the first time, Brock Lesnar wasn't being talked about as a phenomenon. He was being talked about as a human body that could break. And once that realization entered the conversation, nothing about Brock Lesnar felt quite the same again.
Brock Lesnar has been accused of steroids his whole career.
It was the show when Alistair Overeem fought Brock. That was the steroid Olympics. Those two guys together inside the octagon.
And this was his response.
I've been dealing with that my entire life. I'm a white boy and I'm jacked. Deal with it. You know, so what do you want me to say?
Why do you think that
by the time Brock Lesnar stepped into the ring at WrestleMania, history was no longer a backdrop, it was the opponent. The streak wasn't just a number, it was a promise that certain things in wrestling were untouchable. The match didn't feel urgent, it felt heavy. Each movement carried a strange restraint, as if both men understood they were standing inside something bigger than themselves. The crowd reacted, but without certainty. They followed the action out of habit, not expectation. When the first decisive blow landed, disbelief crept in quietly, not as shock, but as hesitation. Another followed, then another, and still, no one stood up, no one celebrated. The building seemed to wait for correction, for the story to right itself. It never did.
Man, God bless him. He almost broke his neck himself.
What is the vantage point that you had when that happened, the shooting star press happens? Are you watching him in the air and realize immediately, like, oh, no?
Yeah, I knew he was going to fall short. So I go to cover him. I'm like, Brock, please kick out, please kick out. He kicks out at the count of 2. And then I go to pick him up and I said, Brock, are you okay? He didn't say anything. I'm like, Brock, tell me, are you okay? He goes, I think so. And I was like, all right, well, listen, can you give me your finish? He said, you mean now? I said, yeah, I'm picking you up. He goes, I think so. And he lifted me up, gave me the F5 and pinned me. So I was like, thank you, Lord.
The referee counted, the bell rang, and for a moment that felt longer than it was, there was silence. Not the stunned silence of surprise, but the hollow silence of finality. Brock Lesnar did not raise his arms. He did not acknowledge the magnitude of what had just happened. He simply stood there, breathing, as if even he hadn't fully grasped what he had been allowed to do. Around him, faces told the story better than words ever could. Fans stared. Wrestlers backstage froze. A line had been crossed that could never be redrawn. Wrestling had lost something sacred, and no one was sure what would replace it. That night didn't belong to celebration or controversy. It belonged to realization. The realization that an era had quietly ended, not with fireworks, but with 3 seconds that changed how everything before and after would be remembered. And at the center of it stood Brock Lesnar, not as a villain, not as a hero, but as the man who carried the weight of the moment without seeming to want it.
What's incredible with Brock is that Brock went from pro wrestling to being the UFC heavyweight champion. And did so with such a short amount of time of training in MMA. Obviously he had a spectacular amateur wrestling career. He was legit, top flight amateur wrestler and a fucking genetic freak. All those things. But to be able to make that transition to winning the fucking world title against a guy like Randy Couture, I don't think he gets enough credit for what I think a lot of people say. Oh, he was so big and he was this and that and he did steroids and there's all these excuses. Like, you don't understand what that guy did. Like, what that guy did is nothing short of insanity. Like, no one's ever done that before. No one's ever gone from, the way he did it too, and to fucking to get in there and beat a guy like Randy.
Time has a way of smoothing the noise around great figures. With Brock Lesnar, what remains is not consensus, but clarity. He was never meant to be liked in the traditional sense. He was meant to be believed. Long after the matches are replayed and the moments ranked, Brock's legacy lives in how wrestling felt when he was involved. The tension before the bell, the hesitation in the crowd, the sense that outcomes were not entirely safe inside the rules that governed everything else. Brock didn't redefine wrestling through speeches or symbolism. He did it through presence, through weight, speed, and an economy of movement that made everything around him feel more serious. When he appeared, the show leaned toward realism, not because it had to, but because it couldn't avoid it. For some, Brock represented discomfort. For others, credibility. For many, both at the same time. And that contradiction is precisely why he remains difficult to replace. Wrestlers came after him with size, with athleticism, with intensity. Few came with consequence. In the end, Brock Lesnar didn't leave behind a style to imitate. He left behind a feeling that is hard to recreate. The feeling that something unscripted might break through at any moment. And when legends are asked about him now, the answers no longer chase details. They return to that feeling, the pause before the explanation, the quiet acknowledgement. Brock Lesnar was never just part of the show. He was the moment when wrestling reminded everyone how real it could feel.